Chairman Smith, Ranking Member Johnson, and members of the committee, it's an honor to have the opportunity to testify today about the scientific justification of environmental protections in the state of Texas. Thank you. My name is Elena Craft. I serve as a health scientist with Environmental Defense Fund, a national nonpartisan, nonprofit, science-based environmental organization. I earned my graduate degrees in North Carolina and got to Texas as quickly as I could. After that, I met my husband, who's a computer engineer, and we have a native Texan on the way who was also happy to be here. So I hold an adjunct assistant professorship at the University of Texas School of Public Health, and I work on a range of regional and national issues, primarily with regard to air quality. Texans have a lot to gain from reductions in emissions of pollutants such as ozone, mercury, and other air toxics, and greenhouse gases. We can have a cleaner environment as well as a vibrant economy, but right now Texas is lagging behind other states, and the costs of the state's inaction are being charged to the taxpayers in terms of health. This issue is exacerbated by the high rates of those uninsured in our state. Texas has the highest rate of uninsured adults at 33%, the highest rate of uninsured children in the country at 17%. Texas has not taken advantage of ample opportunities to go ahead and get ahead of federal policy by developing its own laws and regulations to reduce pollution, and now we're behind. Right now, almost 15 million Texans breathe air that does not meet federal health-based standards for ozone that were set back in 2008. Perhaps what is most concerning about ozone in Texas is that since 2009, ozone design values have either increased or remained relatively stagnant in the 3 largest metropolitan areas. Hundreds of doctors and scientists across the country are concerned about the impact that ozone is having on public health and have been aggressively advocating for even more protective standards. Mercury is another pollutant of health concern across the country, but especially within Texas. Mercury is a neurotoxin that jeopardizes the brain development of infants and children. Texas is home to 6 of the 10 highest emitting coal plants for mercury in the United States. EPA rules are justified, achievable, and cost-effective. Many Texas businesses are well positioned to adopt the new standards, and initial cost estimates for compliance have proven to be overstated. With regard to the cross-state air pollution, in Texas specifically, reducing pollution will save up to 1,700 lives per year in the state and provide approximately $14 billion in benefits to Texas each year. Independent analysts have assessed the potential for the state of Texas to comply with the cross-state rule without costly upgrades or plant closures. The mercury and air toxic standards are the first nationwide limits on power sector emissions of mercury and are expected to have a net positive impact on overall employment as well as economic benefits that outweigh costs by up to 9 to 1. States across the nation have been preparing for these standards for years. Plants in Illinois, New Hampshire, Wisconsin, Maryland have all taken steps to reduce mercury, and recent statements from utility companies on the standards suggest that implementation is going smoothly and that compliance costs will be less than originally expected. With regard to greenhouse gases, since January 2011, large power plants and industrial facilities that are newly constructed have been obligated to use the most efficient and best available technologies, taking account costs and technical feasibility. Whereas almost all states have revised their Clean Air Act regulations to incorporate these new requirements, Texas, unfortunately, has refused to implement this program. Others have found that implementing efficiency and best available control technologies for greenhouse gases is a cost-effective and reasonable process. One of our nation's largest utilities, Calpine Corporation, recently submitted a brief in the Supreme Court supporting the application of these requirements for greenhouse gas regulations and noting that obtaining the permits did not delay or add significant costs. Nationwide, over 100 greenhouse gas permits have been issued as of September 2013 in at least a dozen major industrial sectors. Texas' legal action have jeopardized the ability of facilities in the state to conduct business. While other states have been planning for new pollution controls, Texas has stood in the way. Mercury emissions from Texas electric utilities have remained relatively consistent since 2001, even though 17 other states have taken measures to reduce mercury from their power plants. Texas is the only state that didn't work with EPA to ensure smooth greenhouse gas permitting, though other states, even ones that disagreed with EPA on greenhouse gas permitting, had plans in place so that business would not be disrupted. The science on air pollution is clear, it's a killer, and we're paying the price on pollution whether we admit it or not. And if we don't take aggressive action now, then we're jeopardizing the future of all Texans. Thank you.